Hello, welcome back to my channel. The Lord has given me a dream yesterday morning around 2, almost 3. He woke me up from this dream, and it was a very odd sort of dream. But right now I'm gonna tell you the dream, and then break it down the way the Lord broke it down for me, and give you the interpretation, so you could know what it means and everything. And so yeah, so in this dream, I had several, but this one's the one that I remembered. Like everything else just like disappeared. So in this dream, I was with my mom in outside someone's garage, but this garage had like the side wall open, and I could see like inside of the garage. And I'm not sure if I was looking for something or something, but when then this man in his car arrived and parked his car in the garage, and I noticed he looked a little mad for some reason. I don't know, he looked kind of not mad, but like livid, like he could kill somebody if somebody like tried to get in his way, kind of mad in his face. And so this was just a one-car garage. It was pretty big, but it was only like his car was able to fit. And he was a black man. I don't know his face when I saw him in the car, but then as he was parking, my mom told me she said something insulting and racist, and I was like, no mom, like at least let's say hi to this brother from church. I don't remember his face, but he seemed like a brother that I've known in church, an older brother, black brother from church, who's very friendly and stuff like that. And so later on, he approached us, and he extended his hand towards my mom first, to shake her hand, but she refused. And then he extended it to me, and I shook his hand, well, out of politeness, because I didn't want to be rude. And so just like normal, when you go to church and you say hi to people, and then he put his right arm around me, and I believe I hugged him back, but then I thought it was just a normal hug, but then I realized like he wasn't letting go. I was like, okay, this guy is not letting me go from the hug. I started to feel uncomfortable, and because he like didn't want to go let me go, even though like I put my arm down and everything. But I was feeling very awkward and uncomfortable, and but I kindly but kind of struggled to get out of his grip until I did. And then once I did got out of his grip, I just like walked quickly to the garage, and there was this group of ladies from the church, like my age. The gentleman that I'm telling you about, he's like, I don't know, in his 50s or something. I'm not sure, 50s or 60s perhaps. But these young ladies, they were about my age. I only saw one that I knew, that I've known for from a few years, But the odd thing about her was that her jawline was super square, and it didn't look anything like she looks like in real life, you know what I mean? And so I kind of saw that as a little odd, but I knew it was her, but she kind of looked weird to me, like as if she was a different person or something. And then but I approached her because I knew her, and so she, you know, I was relieved that they were there. So, you know, this guy chasing me was like wasn't able to you know, get me. And so these girls invited me to go out to eat with them, and so I was like relieved. And that's where the basically where the dream ended. And so, oh, and before I forget, the man actually, when he arrived, he had a red shirt, you know, something like this. And like I tell you, he was very livid and like he could kill somebody. And when he came to us, like he approached us, he was actually wearing a very shiny, not super shiny, but shiny blue long sleeve shirt or blouse, you know, for like church. And what else? And he was very like kind and friendly, almost too friendly, when he was with us. And so and he was all smiles and happy and friendly, right? So that was that dream. You know, it ended there when I was basically rescued from this man with these girls, which really are, you know, young, still, you know, young women. So yeah, that was the dream. Now I'm gonna break it down for you, like the Lord broke it down for me. And so, you know, according to prophets on YouTube and, you know, research as well, a car signifies a ministry. So this man arrived in his car. I don't remember the color of the car, but he arrived in this car, and basically a car in a dream means a ministry. So this man, and obviously, you know, it's implied that the garage means like the church, or, you know, the building where you know, the members of the church meet or ministries meet, right? So so yeah, this person hi, sorry, it keeps cutting off, and you know, the devil's really mad and doesn't want this video to come out to you. So as I was saying, I believe I left off at I was going to tell you what blue signifies, and the color blue signifies trustworthiness, peace, calm, serenity, stability, and according to Exodus chapters 35 through 39, the color blue signifies also signifies priestly garments and fixtures in the tabernacle. And so, you know, this man in the dream, you know, when he was in the car, he was wearing red, but when he was, you know, when he approached us, he was now wearing blue, you know. And so, you know, but, you know, although, of course, some people do change, you know, because they're born again, but, you know, because he was still trying to, you know, kind of keep me in his grips, not letting me go from the hook. That was showing me that he was just putting on a mask, you know, that he wasn't, he hadn't truly changed, and, you know, this person just was just pretending to be a good person when in fact he wasn't. And so and also not to be racist or anything, but the color of people's skins in dreams aren't necessarily, sometimes are actually a metaphor or have a significance. So for instance, if a person or the Lord uses a, let's say like in this case, he's a black person, right? Black, actually the color black in the skin, like the skin of the man was black, and also the other lady who rescued me, who I knew is actually in real life also black. And so you know, black actually represents, or has different meanings. So it represents darkness, death, suffering, or blindness, especially spiritual blindness, not literal blindness, but spiritual blindness. You know, like the Pharisees have in well, in the Bible, right? Around Jesus' time. And you know, those who are spiritually discerned and, you know, will probably understand already what this already means. But, you know, let me give you, that was the breakdown of the dream. And so now I'm going to give you the interpretation of the dream as the Lord interpreted for me. So for whoever this message is for, it could be for, well, basically everyone. You know, everyone that comes upon this, or anyone really in the world. Because, yeah. So, so for whoever this is for, there is someone or possibly multiple people in your church or churches, whatever church that you go to, whether in a leadership position, or, you know, just, you know, you've known them for a very long time, and you know, but they're, you know, acquaintances, because in this dream the lady, I forgot to mention, I have known her for a long time, but I'm not really close to her, and neither am I close to this brother that I dreamt about. And so I've just, like, they're just acquaintances and church members, you know. We don't have a really a close connection, you know. And so so like I was saying, like, you know, they could be a person, leadership position, whether, you know, a pastor or a priest, or, you know, just any, you know, church member that, you know, has been in church for a very long time. You know, they are, or could be masquerading, or are putting on a mask to who they really say or act like they are. You know, they could, you know, be acting like they're very nice and friendly and saved, but in reality, you know, they're just, you know, putting on a, like I said, a mask. And, you know, on the inside, you know, they might be friendly on the outside, but on the inside they are like ravenous wolves, the Bible says, or sheep's in wolves clothing, right? You know, they pretend to have good fruits in the beginning, but if you linger long enough, like I did in the man's, you know, arms, you know, you'll start to know or find out their actual true colors. But of course, you have to stay long enough to like realize that this person isn't actually who they act or say they are. And so we have to be careful. And the Lord reminded me of the verse that says, you know, about false prophets in Matthew 7:15-23. I'm not going to read it all, but, you know, basically it says, you know, beware of false prophets or false teachers, false priests, false, even false members, you know, who are, or been in the church, that you know, they who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You know, you will know them by their fruit. And by this, it you know, the Lord broke it even further down, that it's not always what you see immediately, you know, because fruits, you know, like a tree, when you plant the seed of a tree, you know, the tree, it takes a long time to grow, right? It takes a long time to mature and you know, take care of. And you know, once the, you know, the tree is, you know, grown or to its stature that it's supposed to be, you know, then, you know, the fruits, you know, come out of, you know, that tree. You know, you don't see the fruits, you know, right then and there, like when they're growing. You know, it takes a while. Once they have been matured in their character and in the church, you know, then you will see their fruits. And you know, you might not, you know, because that's when they're set in their ways, once they're mature. Of course, you know, like the gospel can change anybody, but in this case, like with this dream, you know, we have to be careful with the people around us that can look good on the outside, but are pretty much devils on the inside. And so you know, you don't know their hearts, you know. And so the Lord also gave me Matthew 10:16, which says, "Behold, I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. Therefore, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves." So, so if you are a very trusting person who only looks on the outside or on the appearances or, you know, supposed fruits of this person, you know, take heed that you do not do that, and, you know, do not trust, you know, just what you're seeing, you know, because some people are really good at disguising themselves until, of course, the mask falls off, you know. And so, you know, like the story of David, you know, when what's his name? I think Samuel, the prophet Samuel, the Lord asked him to go and anoint the next king, right? But he, the Lord didn't give him who, but he just went, and he went to go to see and anoint one of the sons of Jesse, right? So, but the Lord, of course, didn't reveal to him who until he was there. And so, and then, you know, in Samuel's mind, you know, he wanted, or so in Samuel's mind, you know, he wanted to anoint possibly somebody who is strong and brave and tall and handsome for a king, right? But, you know, the Lord, you know, showed him that, you know, he wasn't picking any of the other brothers, but he picked, you know, David, even though he didn't look like the part, you know, but he, you know, the Lord knew his heart, and that's why, you know, he chose David instead of all his brothers, because his brothers probably didn't have a good heart, you know, only the Lord could really know the, you know, true intentions of the heart, right? And so, so I was like, you know, back to the dream, you know, like I was saying, some people are really good at disguising themselves, and until of course they can't keep pretending anymore, right? Or you find that they were doing something behind closed doors. So ask the Lord. The Lord is asking or telling me to tell you to ask Him for spiritual discernment, to discern and reveal the spirits and true intentions of those around you, because only God can show you the hearts of people. We cannot know the hearts, because their fruits can be deceiving. And so or like me in the dream, I was thinking this was a nice friendly brother, and he had no real bad intentions. But I quickly found out when I lingered long enough with him, he wasn't letting me go. And so somebody who's really not who doesn't really have good intentions won't be holding on to you without making you feel awkward, or won't be making you feel awkward in their hug, like many perverts and sexual abusers, and stuff like that. And so so yeah, if you're a very trusting person, please don't go by appearances. You don't really know the hearts of people, and only know, or the Lord is the only one who knows. And so we need to take it up to Him and ask Him to reveal the true intentions and true hearts of people, because if not, we're going to be deceived and basically led astray. And so we don't want to be basically led by blind people, right? Like I was saying, like, because they were black, had dark skin, it means they were blind or spiritually blind. When you're spiritually blind, you're either not teaching the right doctrines, or you are, but behind closed doors you're doing stuff that you shouldn't. And so the Lord wants you to be careful of these sort of people, because they won't show their fruits until later, sometimes until it's too late, until you're trapped, and so let me see what else I needed to add. That was basically the whole interpretation. So yeah, also I wanted to add that the Lord is, I believe, yes, the Lord is leading me to also add this. Because I how do I explain this to you? So because I woke up at 2:53, and the Lord has been leading me to look up what time, the number of the time is in the Strong's Concordance, whether Hebrew or Greek. It's something that the Lord uses or has been using lately or currently to but to give a message of regarding something. And so it's, for me, it has been like whenever I wake up from a dream, I write it down, and then of course I write down a dream, and that the time of when I woke up from that dream kind of clarifies or confirms what I just dreamt, or helps along with the dream. I don't know if that makes sense, but those who have spiritual ears will hear and will understand, and those who have spiritual eyes as well will be able to understand this. And the religious people won't. So if you have the religious spirit, don't even go there. Grow closer to Christ, and you will know. So these aren't angel numbers. Angel numbers are so totally different. They're basically the counterfeit to what God uses. Apart from Strong's Concordance, which I recommend using, he also refers. The numbers also refers to Bible verses sometimes. So mostly for me, it goes to Strong's Concordance. And then, the Strong's Concordance references to the Bible. So it goes hand in hand. So since I woke up at 2:53, but then it immediately switched to 2:54, I had to look up what those numbers were. And so 2:53 in the Hebrew Strong Concordance means alas, which is an expression of either grief or surprise. And this led me to the verse. There's a Bible verse reference there to Ezekiel 6 verse 11 that uses this word alas, and it reads, thus says the Lord God, pound your fist and stamp your feet, and say, alas, for all the evil abominations of the house of Israel, for they shall fall by the sword, by famine, and by pestilence. And so with this, and kind of to connect it to my dream, the Lord is going to be sending, the sword, famine, and pestilence to hit the house of Israel, or in other words, to his church, or those that claim to be working for him, yet they're doing stuff, evil abominations, things that they shouldn't, and behind closed doors, and bringing judgment upon them. And so, and he also gave me in Greek, which means, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but alupoteros, meaning having less grief, and which means free from pain, grief, trouble, which led me to the Bible verse Philippians 2:28, which says, therefore I sent him the more eagerly, that when you see him again you may rejoice, and I may be less sorrowful. So with this, like those that are grieving due to the troubles that these people who have secretly done things to them that possibly hasn't been come to the light, the Lord is saying, like, you will be free from these people. You'll be free from this trouble that they're trying to bring to you. You're the innocent who are actually on the Lord's side, and are innocent, and basically like sheep in the slaughterhouse, basically. And so that's for someone to encourage you, those that are waiting and praying on God for basically deliverance from these people. And so he just added that to me right now. I didn't really understand it much until now. And so like I said, when I woke up, I saw immediately 2:53, but it switched kind of right after I saw it to 2:54, and so he led me to also look up that in Hebrew and in Greek. And in Hebrew it means fire pot or brazier, which referenced it to Jeremiah 36:22 through 24, if you want to go read that. But it basically says, or it talks about how King Jehoiakim, king of Judah, had burned the scroll that the prophet Jeremiah had told his scribe to write, that the Lord had instructed him to write about the judgment against Judah for the purpose of turning them from their evil ways, that the Lord may forgive their iniquity and their sin. So it ties to 253 regarding judgment on the people of God, or beginning in his church to those that are in the church, whether leadership positions, clergy members, whatever. There's going to be judgment to turn them, for the purpose of turning them from their evil ways and back to the Lord, to ask and seek forgiveness of their sins and iniquities. And also, in the Greek, 254 means halusis, which means a chain, a light chain or bond by which the body or any part of it, either the hands or the feet, is bound. And that referenced it to Mark 5:1-5. And it was talking about, the story about the man who was demon possessed, who was in chains, or had broken out of his chains, and had like a legion of demons, and that the Lord, cast out. And, they asked, not to kill them, but, to let them go and, get on these, go to these swine. And, then the swine, of course, violently ran down and over the cliff, right, and died. So, so what God is saying with this is that those, the people that are innocent, or have been in chains by possibly even these people that are pretending to be good people, good leaders or whatever, have been binding or having these people bound by their sins, or their witchcraft, or their sorcery, or whatever they're doing behind closed doors. And the Lord will be setting you free, those people that are in chains, in bondage, due to these people doing these things to them. And so yeah, he's gonna, be careful with these. If you're not aware, please do not trust these people. Don't trust anybody. Ask the Lord to reveal to you what the intentions of those people around you, so you won't be deceived. But even if you were deceived and you got trapped, like I was getting trapped, and then even more trapped with these people pretending to be good people, or good women, but inside they were not. Before you get trapped, or even if you have gotten trapped, the Lord is saying, like, he's gonna bring judgment on these people, and to liberate, or deliver basically the people that are basically in bondage or slavery, but not slavery in like like slavery, to work, hard labor, but slavery to sin, basically, and in chains, in sin, and bound like that, because we don't fight with against flesh and blood, like the word says. We fight against principalities, against powers, against the darkness of this, the rulers and darkness of this world. And so that that those wicked powers, that are, affiliated with the devil and Satan, and working through his agents, or humans, or which are basically either witches or warlocks, or under like an evil spirit, working in the church, to bring or keep people in slavery and sin and bound, like this demon-possessed man, bound in chains. And so, but not literal chains, but spiritual chains that keep people in bondage to sin, keep people bondage or oppressed in sin, oppressed like in depression and strife and discord. If your church is going through these things, then rest assured there's something, a dark spirit working through somebody at that church, and is creating this chaos. Because the devil doesn't sleep. He uses people around us to cause these things. And not to say that we don't have a chance against them. The closer we get to Christ, the Lord delivers us from those things, and or sends people to help us get out of that situation and into basically the arms of Christ, who then of course liberates the captives. I once was lost basically, and now I'm free, and that is to the glory of God. And that is what the gospel is. It's Jesus, getting close to Jesus, falling in love with Jesus, and him basically getting us out of what it would be spiritual Egypt, right? And so yeah, that's basically it. And so I pray this blessed you. The Lord really blessed me with this dream, and let me be aware, or to share, for you to be aware of these things, and give you this message. And I hope it blessed you, and kind of made you open your eyes a little bit from the realities of what spiritual warfare is, and not to be deceived and believe everything you see, because not everybody has right intentions or good intentions for you, even though they may pretend to be. And so and especially in these last days, the devil knows he has a short time, and he's increasing his attacks, his tactics, his power, and basically making his attacks more intense than before. And so I don't want to scare you or anything, but it's the reality, and it's what's happening, and it's going to get worse. And so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what's going to happen. This is the message to help you to grow closer to Christ now, and to really strengthen your faith in Him, and to not give up, and really like seek Christ, basically, like the word says, while He may be found, because later on there'll be, like everyone knows who's read the Bible, who knows Revelation, there's going to be tribulations, and we're all going to have to endure through all those things. And so without further ado, or to add anything else, that is it. If the Lord gives me another message, I'll be back with another word as soon as the Lord releases me to. Okay? Alright, so stay blessed. I love you, but the Lord, of course, loves you so much more. and is always with you. So take care, stay blessed, take courage, and continue to read and study word and grow closer to Christ, because that is the only way that we'll be able to endure and have strength to what's going to come soon. Okay.